there, I'm Cara Pryor, president at James Publishing, co-founder of our James Marketing Amplifier program. I hope you're finding the conference to be useful so far. We have some really great speakers coming up, so be sure to stick around. I spend most of my time these days speaking with attorneys about how to improve their marketing results and really kind of strategizing ways to making sure that they're always increasing their return on investment. So I'm super excited to share some low and actually no cost tactics today for lifting your marketing results during the downturn. There really is a ton of opportunity right now, so let's go ahead and dive in. So today we're talking about 13 ways to improve your marketing results during tough times. We're going through some tough times right now, and it's important to remember that challenging times require innovation and adaptation. You can't just kind of, stay by and stay safe and just hope that things will, come out okay. Unless you practice in a counter-cyclical specialty, failure to change can really be fatal during the downturn. But if you do practice in a now booming specialty like bankruptcy, for instance, these techniques can help you be more efficient with your marketing. So I'm going to walk you through 13 techniques we've found to deliver more and better clients to small law firms with the same sort of base level of marketing. So we'll be covering certainly how to convert more of your existing leads. We'll talk about improving the quality of your leads, and then specifically adopting techniques with long-term marketing value. That's what we're going to cover today. Okay, number one, offer a lead magnet. If you have decent website traffic, you can attract and convert more of those visitors if you offer a high value booklet, maybe tool, maybe it's a quiz, or it could be a book in exchange for contact information. So, this is sort of online marketing 101, sort of a tactic that most small law firms have kind of still failed to adopt, even though it is a technique that is very widely used and used with great success in other industries. And because this approach really has been working for many years for business marketers. So there's nothing kind of experimental about this tactic. It's very much proven. The whole point of the lead magnet is, you have to assume that a group of your website visitors, perhaps even a pretty large group of your website visitors, might not be quite ready to kind of book a consult with you or give you a call directly. So those folks would otherwise leave without a trace, right? We would have no idea that they even ever visited your website. However, the point of a lead magnet is to collect that contact information of the folks who may just be kind of looking for more information, looking to get some of their questions answered, collect that contact information, offer them a high value lead magnet immediately. And then, as we'll go into in just a moment, the whole idea is to nurture them along, stay in touch with them until they are ready to sign up with you. And you're the one, of course, answering their questions, providing them value, and staying top of mind. So here's a sample of an FAQ pop-up that offers a lengthy collection of FAQs in exchange for the visitor's contact information. It's also wise to ask one qualifying question. So you'll see here at the bottom, so this is a pop-up that would appear, it's called an exit intent pop-up. So it would appear as your visitor goes to leave your site, goes to exit out of your site. And at the last second, this pop-up appears saying here, in this sample, you can see you have questions about your injury claim. We have answers, 56 answers to be precise. They are available in this free 24-page digital booklet, which we can instantly email to you. And then you'll see in this pop-up, we're asking for first name, email address, phone number, and then there's this qualifying question. In this case, we're asking how immediate is your legal need? So just by asking that one multiple choice question, you're really able to prioritize the urgency of your follow-up and really qualify those prospects so that you're not wasting time on those folks that may not have an immediate legal need. So basic contact information, one qualifying question, and then the visitor is automatically emailed, in this case, a lengthy booklet that provides value and showcases your expertise above all. Okay, so tip number 2, send your leads a wow package. You should assume that your leads are also contacting a couple of other attorneys, right? I mean, it's less likely that you're the only attorney that they're meeting with. So it's critical to set yourself apart as quickly as possible. Standing out as the most knowledgeable attorney will certainly improve both your show and your conversion rates. The surest way to appear to be kind of the most knowledgeable is to supply the most information relevant to the prospect's issue, right? So the surest, kind of easiest, and certainly least expensive way to distinguish yourself is with an automatically sent package of digital information, a wow welcome package. Since so few lawyers have adopted this tactic, you'll stand out just by providing this information. It doesn't need to be a huge comprehensive package. Anything will do that really kind of help you stand apart. Let me kind of show you a sample on this next slide here. Our shock and awe package consists of a book, a booklet, practice brochure, and a cover letter. Here's a look at that here. And your wow package, it really doesn't need to be this comprehensive, but for sending anything is certainly better than nothing. And the best approach is to supply content specific to the client situation. So take a few minutes. You know better than anyone the common sort of questions and objections that you receive from your prospects and your clients. List those out and provide content that really answers those questions, that really specifically addresses those client concerns. And that's a great place to start when you are looking to create some of this content. Okay, so on a similar note, moving along, tip number 3. Yeah, so tip number 3, nurture the undecided. Too many lawyers ignore prospects who don't immediately set an appointment. If that's you, you're losing clients who would cost you really nothing additional to obtain, right? That's a mistake. We recommend a series of educational emails that is at least 6 months long. That's how long ours is. Once written, you can really use this series, this educational drip series, untouched for years. So once you create it, it really delivers value year over year over year. So, I mean, and think about it, what better time than now to kind of work on some of this stuff, especially if business has slowed a little bit. You might have some extra writing time. This is the first thing you should write. This is definitely the lowest hanging fruit. These are prospects who are interested in your services. They are interested in learning more. You need to make sure that you are not ignoring these folks. So again, what kind of content do you provide? Answer common questions, explain the process, what can be expected, address the issues that frequently arise, but most important, detail the tactics that you feel are kind of most relevant to their case. Let them know what is to be expected. What does the process look like? And more or less, what will be expected from them. Then set up your series in an autoresponder tool or software. So any email marketing software like MailChimp, Drip, your CRM, they all have this functionality, but you have to pre-build these automated drip campaigns because there's no way that you're going to be able to manually send out this content. It's just too much, and it really puts too much work on your plate. So set up an autoresponder series, send out a new email every week. Initially, you want it to be sort of front loaded, and then every other week later in the series. Our series typically consists of 16 letters, 16 emails. Yours can be longer or shorter, but just know, again, once you have this asset, once you have this follow-up nurturing series, it's something that can be used over and over again for years and years and years. It's very much evergreen content that really doesn't need to be updated on so much of a regular basis. Okay, so let's see, moving along here. Okay, so tip number 4, monitor your intake calls. We all know how critical it is to nail that intake process. First impression is really everything. What can you do to ensure that your intake process is up to snuff and is really, working for you? So if you're not periodically listening to your firm's intake calls, you're likely overestimating their quality and consistency. So listen to some of these calls. So you can quickly assess your intake people if you record calls and just occasionally listen to them kind of on your own time. We recommend you focus first on the short calls and learn why a complete intake was not conducted, right? record all the calls, look for the short ones. Why were they short? What is missing? Why was a complete intake not completed? So, those kinds of assessments can go a really, really long way. The easiest way to kind of identify potentially mishandled calls is really to, listen to them with a VoIP phone system or using a call tracking software like CallRail. That's a great way to do it. And you can self-test by having colleagues or friends kind of make a few mystery shopper calls or mystery calls to your front desk. But please conduct a test. It's so critical to conduct these tests because you really don't know what's happening unless you hear it firsthand. And you really may find a big problem that once corrected can have a big impact. So start recording those calls, listen to them on your own time, and let's put some processes in place and standards in place so that your front desk people know how to handle each call every time that they come in. Okay, so moving along here. Okay, so number 5, stay on top of unsigned leads. If you're not systematically tracking the status of your leads, some will inevitably fall through the cracks, right? And I'll tell you, very few of the attorneys that I talk to on a regular basis are tracking leads in the way that they should. And that's a huge missed opportunity. So we suggest someone in your office, if not you, needs to be assigned specifically to follow every lead. And if it is someone else in your office, incentivize them to move those leads through a lead life cycle funnel. So, incentivizing an office person that is dedicated to this will really go a long way. And if you don't have a formal sort of lead follow-up system and a person responsible for moving your leads through your system, you're really not maximizing the clients you could obtain from your current lead flow. Let me repeat that, your current lead flow. So I'm not talking about increasing the number of leads that you're receiving. I'm just talking about capitalizing and getting the most out of the leads that you are already getting. Again, low-hanging fruit. That's kind of the theme here. We find that many small law firms have weak lead follow-up. Initial outreach calls are late, sometimes unenthusiastic, if they're even made at all. No written materials are sent. Later check-in calls to the undecided are not made. Educational nurturing emails are not sent. Re-engagement materials are non-existent. No CRM is in use, and any tracking is kind of informal and irregularly used. So you can really see the opportunity here. Every lead should be tracked and moved along a preset sales funnel that includes really kind of a mix of calls and content. So think about it as you don't want to be 100% kind of call focused. You don't want to only be sending, emailing content. You want it to be a nice mix. So this follow-up process, when used regularly, when really implemented religiously, will do more to improve your marketing results than any other single suggestion I make today. So please grab your notebook right now. Take notes on this. It, again, is that lowest hanging fruit where there's no need to increase your lead flow. You already have those leads, so let's take advantage of that and really nurture them along, okay? So a lot of that has to do with the tracking. Number 6, educate your prospects. Educate. Explain the legal process, answer common questions, reveal details about the work you do. The first step is to provide your prospects a variety of content that familiarizes them with what lies ahead. What can they expect? You should provide both articles and videos because, it just kind of depends. People like to ingest information in different ways. So when you give them the opportunity to read or watch and listen, they're more likely to ingest your content. So, but again, what kind of content should you produce? How about a look at what will occur if they do retain you? Specifically, what will occur if they retain you as an attorney? Insight into how your approach works, why your approach works, and what their role will be, what will be expected of them. Okay, so let me kind of move on here and show you something. Okay, so for reference, here's a look at a few of our educational sort of branded booklets. You will find that prospects who have engaged with your educational materials, either watched or read or listened, people who engage with those materials before they speak with you will nearly always be higher quality prospects, right? An educated prospect is a higher quality prospect. They will certainly ask better questions, be sort of more ready to sign with you rather than look around. They're not shopping around. They know that you are the expert, you are the authority, and will really not be surprised by your requests for more information or other work because you have prepped them. They understand what to expect and what will be expected of them. Moving right along. Number 7, promote your content. Once you have this collection of high quality content, you can certainly circulate it sort of piece by piece using social media. Share it on your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, YouTube. Certainly be sure to email it out to your contacts. It's a great way to stay in front of past clients for referral purposes and also, your prospects as well. So once you have this content, share it in any way that you can. You should really be taking advantage of all avenues, all marketing channels once you have this content created. The content also makes for excellent social advertising offerings. So if you're using Facebook ads, make sure that you're using a dedicated landing page and funnel to maximize the effectiveness of your ads. So perhaps you're investing in Facebook advertising, perhaps you're investing in PPC, Google AdWords, rather than just advertising, a free consultation or, directly your services. It's a good idea to test out advertising offering this free content, this free educational, valuable content that answers many of their questions, that really establishes you as an authority. And that's what you're offering at the top of the funnel. So the ads are actually offering the content. Then we're moving those folks into a funnel that steadily and consistently moves them along and educates them along the way until they are ready to sign up. I did want to mention, if you're not on social media, use some of your extra downtime, if you have it, right now to set up your social media profiles. It only takes a few minutes and it's really a must these days. I'm always blown away how many attorneys I talk to who still don't have a Facebook account or a Facebook profile for their law firm. Get it set up. It only takes a few minutes. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Once you have it set up, then you have that additional channel. You have that additional place to share this wonderful content that you're spending all this time creating. Okay. 8, use not for everyone language. Most law firm websites invite everyone to contact the office. This is really the wrong approach. Are you surprised? It's true. You don't accept everyone who calls, so why not kind of trumpet that exclusivity on your website? Prospective clients will be curious about kind of what it takes to sign with you, so specifically tell them. It's rare that I see this kind of exclusivity language on the law firm sites that I look at, and I look at a lot of them. Your public content should emphasize that your services are not for everyone, and then describe exactly who you are kind of best able to help, and be specific. Your description will reduce the number of calls from unqualified prospects. No one likes calls from unqualified prospects, right? That, honestly, to be frank, those are a waste of time. So we need to do as much as we can to qualify those prospects before they ever reach you. And kind of the apparent exclusivity, it also kind of creates more interest in your representation. People naturally want what they might not be able to get. So it really does create this nice, exclusivity. What's going on? It kind of piques interest. And in addition to helping prospects kind of self-screen, this approach will help you stand apart from your competition and increase interest. That's the bottom line. Number 9, ask qualifying landing page questions. So what does this mean? Every web form, whether offering a lead magnet, a free consultation, or something else, should ask a couple of qualifying questions. I kind of mentioned this at the top of the session with the FAQ pop-up, but time to follow up on leads is limited at most small law firms. I'm sure it is for you. In fact, most firms could do a better job pursuing their leads. So anything that helps you identify and really kind of direct your efforts to the best leads will be beneficial, will be worth your time. An easy way to segment your leads is with qualifying questions on your web forms. For instance, how urgent is your legal need? And then followed by 4 options. These should be multiple choice. So options from I need help now, call me, please call me, to I'm just browsing. So these will kind of allow your team to focus on the leads ready to make a decision right now. Basically prioritizes the urgency of your follow-up. And then a secondary question asking kind of about the seriousness or maybe the magnitude of their legal issue will also help kind of single out those qualified and high value clients. So whether that's size of estate, days in hospital, maybe extent of debt, stage of litigation. Learning about the severity of the legal problem is valuable qualifying information and something that's very easily answered. So we're not bogging those visitors, those prospects down with, questions that require lengthy responses. These are multiple choice, very, very easy questions. And then the secondary question is very easily answered too. So we really do recommend asking about both seriousness and urgency. It's the best way to really kind of qualify those leads. Number 9, ask qualifying landing page questions. So what does this mean? Every web form, whether offering a lead magnet, a consultation, or something else, should ask a couple of qualifying questions. So time to follow up on leads is limited at most small law firms. I'm sure it's limited for you. In fact, most firms could do a better job pursuing their leads. So anything that helps you kind of identify and direct your efforts to the best leads will naturally be beneficial and worth your time. An easy way to kind of segment your leads is with qualifying questions on your web form. Again, on every web form that is available on your site. How urgent is your legal need? Followed by 4 options ranging from I need help now, please call me, to I'm just browsing. So this will really allow your team to focus on the leads that are ready to make a decision. It helps you kind of prioritize the urgency. And then a second question, asking about the seriousness or magnitude of the legal issue, will also help single out the qualified and high value clients. So whether size of estate, days in hospital, extent of debt, maybe stage of litigation, learning about the severity of the legal problem is valuable qualifying information. So we really recommend asking about both seriousness and urgency. Number 10, align prospect expectations. Those without extensive sales experience, which describes most attorneys, rarely understand the value and importance of discussing limitations and negatives. We actually call this process de-selling, which is simply another form of telling prospective clients that your service may not be for everyone, right? May not be for them. Your content should candidly disclose the limitations of what you can provide, what you need, and really what you expect from the client, what they can expect from the process, and anything else that is likely to kind of be perceived as a negative. And you'll want to reiterate these negatives before and even after retention so that there's no misunderstandings about what you can and cannot deliver, right? Taking this kind of counterintuitive approach will demonstrate confidence in your work product. And the more astute legal consumers will certainly recognize that fact, right? And this can also be one more way for you to set yourself apart from your competitors. There's no way your competition is including this sort of not for everyone, aligning expectation language. There's no way. I can promise you that. And the early in your marketing process that you explain what your service cannot do and the work that the client must perform, the better. So really set that expectation up front, be clear, be consistent with what to expect, and it'll go a really, really long way. 11, cultivate your professional referral sources. The most effective way to keep referral sources sending you prospective clients is to email them status notes about prospects and clients they've previously referred. Keep them updated, keep them in the loop. Few lawyers use this proven technique, so you'll definitely stand out when you do so. But if you have many referral sources, you won't kind of be able to always balance every relationship with an equal number or value or kind of equal value of cross referrals, right? It can't always be a reciprocal one-for-one cross referral relationship. So what do you do in those situations to maintain the relationship? I get that question all the time. What do? You demonstrate that the referred clients are being well taken care of, and you explain why any kind of rejected prospects were not accepted as clients. In addition, you regularly send helpful information. Again, Regularly send information that is helpful to the attorney or to the allied professional, whoever your referral source is, to help them grow their own business, grow their own firm. Let me show you some examples of the helpful information that I'm talking about. Here's a look at the professional journal we use to help our clients kind of cultivate their new referral relationships. And let me show you. Here's a look at the covers of a few of our other helpful law firm marketing booklets we use. So again, content that helps, that is valuable to your referral sources will really help you set you apart from maybe the other referral sources that are kind of coming their way, and certainly will help keep you top of mind with those referral sources when they have business to send your way. Okay, moving right along. Number 12, obtain more referrals from past clients. Past clients can be a treasure trove of referral sources, but you have to actually stay in touch with them. So you already know prospects referred by past clients will generally be higher quality than the average lead, right? They are knowledgeable about the work you do, more than likely, and they're pre-sold on you, ready to retain. Your past clients will forget you within months unless you work to kind of maintain that relationship. So you need to work at remaining helpful. That is the key. Work at remaining helpful. If you're not staying in front of your past clients and continuing to help them in some way, you're missing a huge opportunity to obtain more referrals. Let me show you this slide. So to stay top of mind, we recommend a branded newsletter filled with what we call smarter living topics. So here's a look at some sample newsletters. The content needs to be useful or it won't be read. It's as simple as that. The whole point of the newsletter is you want people to actually read it. You want them to spend a few minutes with it each month that it's produced. Ideally, it's produced monthly. If you don't have time, if you don't have the internal resources to produce it monthly, certainly quarterly works, but try to stick to a consistent, kind of predictable schedule. I want to show you now, you really need to provide information relevant to their current lives. So I want to show you, here are some articles that we've used, just some sample topics that you could certainly use too. 8 ways to live a happier life. For a better night's sleep, practice these 7 habits. A beginner's guide to running. 6 easy indoor gardening tips. 8 tips for saving money at the grocery store. So again, general interest, lifestyle, smarter living tips. You don't want your newsletter to be 100% law focused. You don't want people's eyes to glaze over when they're reading it. You want them to spend some time with it. You want it to be compelling content, certainly discussing big case wins. Maybe if there's something particularly interesting happening in your personal life or the personal lives of one of your staff members, definitely include that. Images, photos are wonderful to kind of establishing that trust and reminding your past clients who you are and what you stand for. So the whole idea is that when they need your services again, they will contact you and you've been in touch with this newsletter, or they may have friends or family who are going through a situation where they could really use your legal guidance and your services. So staying top of mind, newsletters are old school, but they certainly work and we highly, highly recommend them. Okay, so we're just flying through this. Number 13, build your video collection. For maximum engagement, your website's educational information should be conveyed in both text and video. Like I mentioned earlier, prospects and clients just like to ingest information in different ways. So try to make your content available in as many ways as you can. So certainly video and text are great ways to present your content. Our favorite formats are explainer and testimonial videos, but in these days of kind of nearly everyone being on Zoom, the more casual videos have become acceptable. You can self-record video chats. You can use your phone. Anything will work. Video goes a long way in really setting yourself apart and showing your personality and your approach. Viewership of videos just keeps climbing, and they are now so universal that their absence can actually mark you as kind of not keeping up with the times. Video is so critical. We will make use of explainer and testimonial videos, like I said, but explainers can convey complex legal topics in a manner that every viewer can understand, easy to digest. Testimonial videos provide another way to kind of convey that you have many, many satisfied clients. So once you create the scripts, freelancers can even finish the production of both types. They can handle the voiceover, kind of do everything. You can outsource for very inexpensively, the additional kind of video production work. But video is so critical. Start building a video resource page on your website. And video is the perfect content to share on social media. So again, kind of wrapping around to your social media content, share video, share video, share video. It's really the easiest way for folks to kind of digest your content. So let me show you a video example here. I'll play just a part of it for you, just so you can get a good sense of a sample video that I'm talking about. This is like a little explainer video.
You were involved in an injury accident, and suddenly, through no fault of your own, everything has changed. You cannot work in the same way you used to. You have medical bills to pay and complicated insurance issues to sort out. It's no wonder you're feeling overwhelmed. That's where we come in. We are knowledgeable and experienced personal injury lawyers. If you were injured,
so that's just one example of a video. You can see how that would be really well received on social media too. Okay, so wrapping up, if you want help implementing these suggestions, we do have an automated and mostly done for you Marketing Amplifier program. The program includes massive content library with that includes both print and digital, 100 to 300 page book, fully branded in your name, of course, dozens of educational booklets in your specialty, monthly newsletters for past and professional referral sources. Program also includes automated sends to prospects, new clients and past clients, as well as low-cost introduction, just $1 for the first month. Take the program for a spin, try it out, but feel free to contact me directly. You see my contact information there. Again, Cara Pryor with James Publishing, 714-434-5926. And my email address is kpryor@jamespublishing.com. I'd love to talk about your marketing, and we will transition now into a live Q&A. So feel free to ask me anything, any kind of questions about your marketing. I love to talk about this stuff, but thanks for listening today. It was a great pleasure, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, guys.